How can these bottles come so close to looking like Oud for Greatness? I'm talking about two fragrances I recently picked up. One's from a house called RIFFS Goodness Oud, this one right here. Another one from Lattafa, BADEE Oud, and it's Oud for Glory. This one right here. Two fragrances that obviously look like they're cloning and copying, flat out copying Oud for Greatness from the house of Initio Parfums. So, I'm going to talk to you about these two fragrances, how good they are, how bad they are, and compare them to the original Initio Parfums Oud for Greatness. If you want to find out about these two fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. And yes, I'm talking about two fragrances that totally remind me of Oud for Greatness. And I decided to just go ahead and buy these because I thought to myself, how in the world can these brands get away with doing fragrances like this and flat out copying not only the cloning of the fragrance, but also, you know, copying the design work. I know they're not identical copies, as you can see. They're not identical, but it's so close to what the original fragrance is. I don't know how they're getting away with doing this. In fact, out of the two, this is Goodness Oud, this is Oud for Glory. I think Oud for Glory is so close to the original, not only for the bottle, but in smell, that I think, I mean, I guess Lattafa can be happy that they're not dealing with Chanel here, because Chanel would be all over their asses. But these two are very close, not only in the design work, but in the smell. But I'll let you know about both of them if I think they're worth it for you to own. But before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So as I said, these I somehow ended up on websites that I discovered them. I didn't even know these existed. And so I thought, wow, that is so copied. Like, I see clones all the time, but they don't blatantly copy the design work. And as I said, they're not identical design work copies, but this would surely cause confusion in the world out there when you're looking for this and this pops up and you think, okay, that sells for $50, I'll go ahead and get it, or $40 or whatever. So I come from a music background and I work in music legal, and copying music, you have to, you know, you have to either pay the rights to use a song or parts of a song or sample it. You can't do it without permission. And here, obviously, I'm not sure if they got permission from Oud for Greatness. I doubt they did. First of all, I should say RIFFS Goodness Oud I bought from Fragrance X, and it was only $30 there. Unfortunately, it's completely sold out currently. And I would say you don't need this one, because this particular fragrance smells really bad. Yes, it kind of reminds me of Oud for Greatness when you first spray it, but it then becomes just this alcohol-y kind of a mess that, you know, it fades away from reminding me of Oud for Greatness, and you're kind of left with something that, you know, smells a little bit like Ambrox and a little reminder of Oud for Greatness, but mostly alcohol. So I would think if you bought this, let me know if you like it, because I personally don't think it's worth owning, even for $30. Besides, the you know, the design work, same thing. It's just really tacky, really bad work, and I think it totally doesn't deserve it. I mean, if you can't afford the original Oud for Greatness, don't get this. Get a decan instead, because, as I said, it'll remind you a little bit up front, but it becomes just a really messy kind of alcohol-y kind of reminder of Oud for Greatness, which I don't care for. I do want to show you a little bit about the box, though. The box is here. It came in somewhat of a nice looking box. It does say RIFFS here, and it says Goodness Oud. The only thing about the box is it doesn't say the size. It also doesn't say the size in the bottom. So everything about this particular fragrance is cheap, all the way cheap. But I think a lot of people might have fallen for it, like me. I fell for it. But you know what? I was only doing it to talk to you guys about it. And I just wanted to find out why. Why, oh why, brands can get away with doing this, because Chanel would be right on their asses to, you know, to stop them from producing things like that. But then again, I feel like Oud for Greatness itself is not necessarily fully original But is Initio Parfums allowing these brands to do this? I don't know. But the brand is from United Arab Emirates. I believe that's where they're from, UAE. And as I said, they don't list the size or anything on here. So it's very, very minimal packaging. But at least it came with came in somewhat of a interesting box. But again, definitely not worth it, even for $30. I guess that's probably cost. Although they've used such cheap material that I think this thing probably only cost them $7.50, $8 kind of a thing. At least even that's what I'm thinking. Maybe even a little less than that. But definitely I would stay away from this one, hands down. Not worth it. It doesn't smell great whatsoever. But the one that you need to look into, if you are into buying clones, is Lattafa's Oud for Glory BADEE Oud, because it's pretty close. Really, really literally close to Oud for Greatness. In fact, I think it's so close, although some of the notes have been switched around a little bit. But when you get past that, because when the notes are switched around, meaning like you experience something more in Oud for Greatness versus you experiencing it in Oud for Glory, makes sense? So if you're getting more lavender here, you're getting the reverse of it here, you're getting more nutmeg here. So Oud for Greatness has saffron, oud, nutmeg, lavender, and patchouli. Retails for $375 for a 90 ml bottle, whereas Lattafa's Oud for Glory BADEE Oud I paid for $50, but I've heard from a friend that he paid $40 for it for 100 ml. So not only you're getting 10 mils more juice for Oud for Glory compared to Oud for Greatness, you're getting something that smells quite similar. If I didn't say the price of this is a 30 ml. No, this is 100 ml for $30. But as I said, don't go for that one. It's not worth it. It smells bad. I don't like it. But as I said, this is the one that really will give Oud for Greatness the run for the money, because it really does smell very, very close to smelling like Oud for Greatness. The only thing, well, there's a few things. As I said, the notes are a little reversed. For me, I get more nutmeg here, I get more lavender here. That's in addition to the saffron and the oud that's already in both of these. I'm getting a little more of a spiciness here, less aromatic herbal lavender in comparison to this. And for me, the nutmeg here seems to be a little less and more lavender, if that makes sense. So they are kind of switched around a little bit for me, not necessarily smelling similar, but when you get past that, as I said, it's very, very close. One other thing that's a negative about this Lattafa Oud for Glory is it's muddled. It does smell muddled, and it doesn't smell as clean as this. So the mixing job that they've done doesn't come off as clean as the original. But some of you might not care. You just want the idea of the fragrance, and I think it'll totally do. It comes quite close to smelling like Oud for Greatness, and I think this definitely, as I said, will give Oud for Greatness a run for its money, because I'm just thinking why or how can these companies get away with blatantly copying not only the smell but the design work? You know, I don't understand that part. But I do want to show you a little bit of the packaging here. Unfortunately, I got my packaging cracked. The little the see-through thing here is cracked, sadly. I didn't do anything about that. There is a little bit of what do you call this, but it kind of moves around and makes for a little image there. Similar kind of bottle, and also they're both from UAE, although this Oud for Glory box is a little smaller than the RIFFS Oud for Goodness box. But the Oud for Glory does list the size of the fragrance in the back, whereas Oud for Goodness did not list the size, which, you know, the attention to detail here with Oud for Glory is a lot more than Oud for Goodness. I'm kind of getting them all mixed up because they're so close. Oud for Goodness, really, as I said, do not buy it. It's not worth it. Spend $10 to $20 more and get Oud for Glory if you want a clone, because it does smell very close. And I want to show you a little bit of the bottle work as well. The cap on this one seems pretty darn amazing. They've done some good job, whereas the cap on Oud for Goodness, not so much. I mean, it's not bad, but when you compare these two side by side, you'll notice the differences. Also, the material they're using on the bottle is a lot better on Oud for Glory compared to Oud for Goodness. There's a little more of a matte finish on here, and it's a little more smoother here. And then lastly, look, the detailing on the bottom of this bottle is a lot better. They've put some more money into creating something, whereas this one just has that ugly old sticker on the bottom, which you know, they just put something together really quickly to make a buck. And that's how these two are. Again, I don't usually like to review clones, but my curiosity was for why or how can these brands copy a very, very popular fragrance. I'm sure there's got to be some kind of a legal fight between these. I can understand putting a clone in a bottle that doesn't look like the bottle they're copying, but it's so obvious they're copying a fragrance with these two bottles that something has to be happening in the background that we're not sure about, that is with legal stuff about this copying of this fragrance. And just one more time, look at the design work. The design work is so close. The bottle's a little bigger, as obviously you can see, but we are dealing with 90 mLs with this, and we're dealing with 100 ml with this. You do notice that this also has this gold here, this doesn't. So that is kind of not a negative, but I think they're trying to do it on the cheap as well. I mean, I'm not saying they're doing it completely cheap, because Oud for Goodness is really, or Goodness Oud. This is what it should be. Goodness Oud is totally on the cheap. Here, they've done some work, but they've left off this kind of gold on top around this part of the bottle here, versus here it doesn't have it. It is gold, black here, gold here. I kind of like that gold touch. That's the wrong cap. With Oud for Greatness, Initio's Oud for Greatness, let me clean that up from the smudges a little bit. You have the Initio name on top, and here they've put Lattafa's, I think that's how you say their name, logo on the top there. With Initio on the bottom, it seems a lot simpler than what they've given us here at Oud for Glory. They've gone all out with that kind of detail, which is kind of cool. Either way, these are my thoughts on this today. Again, I don't really like to review clones. I was very curious about these fragrances. How could they get away with, making fragrances look so identical to another and still get away with it and sell them? Because there's got to be some kind of a trademark or a way to trademark fragrances. Obviously, if this doesn't have a trademark, or this particular fragrance or the design work doesn't, I'm assuming these brands can do it. They can. So if there was a trademark, maybe there is a trademark, I'm not 100% sure, but if there is a trademark, they can fight and win perhaps, and these will come off the market most likely. But if they don't have a trademark or anything like that, that's why these are out there and selling. Anyway, I don't know who has the info. I'm not asking the brand myself. I just was curious to see what's going on and why or how these two brands have done this. And again, this particular one is sold out, but it's probably selling someplace else. I'm sure you can get it at. But on Fragrance X, where I bought this at, was $30, but I've seen it for a little less at some other places. It's not like a lot of stock out there, but there were a few retailers, unknown retailers, that were selling this. But as I said, or I keep saying, do not get this one. It's definitely not worth it. I mean, it smells a little bit like Oud for Greatness a little bit when you first spray it, but then it just becomes a mess, a watery kind of alcohol-y kind of mess with light reminders. It's literally like a really bad cloning job. They haven't even done a great job. But as I said, with the Lattafa Oud for Glory, they've done an excellent job copying the fragrance, and it does literally smell very close to this, very close, except that it is muddled, it's muddy, it's not very clean. So the craftsmanship is not there. At least I'm not experiencing it. But as a smell, it comes really, really close to Oud for Greatness, and a few notes have been reversed. You get a little more of something versus another. One thing I did not mention throughout this video is the ambroxan. For me, this originally does remind me of Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge 540 and the X-Ray as well. So there is that whole thing that this could be a clone as well, but this has lots of fans out there. It does have a lot of fans out there. And the fact that there's no mention of ambroxan, I'm experiencing both of these having it, obviously, when they're copying this to get this. But in here, it's not so much. Again, all of it is very muddled. Either way, that's all I have to say for you today for this in this particular video. Let me know if you've sampled this. I know I have a friend out there who has. He swears by it and he loves it. But that's just it, because for me it's really, really close to the original. But if you have sampled it, let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. I did buy this for $50. I ordered it from eBay, I believe. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it could have even been Amazon, because I think I saw it there. But I've heard this is selling for a little less too. So if you are going to pay $30 for this, might as well just pay a little more and get this if you're needing the clone of Oud for Greatness. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Also, do let me know what your thoughts are on cloning and flat out copying a design of another bottle. Do you have any issues with that? Are you okay with it? And also, let's not leave it there. Let's go to the extent of, how about you wrote a song and it became really, really popular, and it's making you or generating you a lot of money, and a few years later another band came and copied it. They decided to use parts of the song and there were the lyrics, and they're not paying you for it. Would you be happy about that? Because that's basically what the scenario is here. I think not only is it cloned, they're actually copying the design work and making it look very, very close to the original. So put a comment down and let me know your thoughts on this particular topic and scenario. If it was you that made this song and somebody copied it without letting you know, what would you do about it? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.